tabletop role-playing games, like Dungeons & Dragons, are some of the most complex games in existence. I have exactly 1 week to create one that is not just functional, but fully playable for the inaugural Nat26 Game Jam. And I spent the first 3 hours of that time playing a video game. It was the best decision I could have made. Nat26 is an ongoing TTRPG Game Jam where contestants have 1 week to create their game. This is a recap of day 1 from my experience. I'm making these logs during my game jam and will try to make one for each day, though I already know that may not be entirely realistic. To be fair, the actual first hour of my contest was spent staring at a completely blank Google Doc as I tried to gather myself on a concept to write for the whole event. Just brainstorming. Now, I had ideas pop in and out of my head during the month leading up to the competition, but none of them really grabbed me. The ones I'd been most attached to was a game about a mouse mafia that would have been titled Street Rats. A funny pun, a confusing concept to really make into a full game. I thought back to what worked and what didn't in Daimaho. Daimaho was originally inspired to be a few different magical girl anime, including my single favorite series of all time. I'll get back to that. While it did grow into a game I absolutely love, somewhere along the line it didn't wind up perfectly emulating that one specific series, so I felt like I'd go back. Not to get it right. Daimaho is right, just a different kind of right. But to do justice to the one series that I didn't quite capture despite wanting to. Ojomajo Doremi is the 1999 Majiko anime following a group of young witch apprentices as they use reality warping magical powers to solve various small or large crises. In general, it functions largely like a slice of life with little to no combat and mostly social conflicts. Despite being a series that's nearly twice my age, I think it's one of the greatest animated works put to the screen. Of course, it's different from series like Oshinoko or Arcane, down to the very budget, but it means more to me personally. I've seen both Oshinoko and Arcane once, and I've seen each of the 200-something Doremi episodes at least twice, many more. So, with that in mind, I started thinking about how I could use game mechanics to fit the feeling of Doremi. She's the self-proclaimed unluckiest pretty girl. But her misfortune is actually a skill that leads her to enormous success through roundabout means. I also have always wanted to make a TTRPG using poker cards. Great. Poker, luck, bad luck. I can make this work. Then, I spent the first 3 hours of actual work playing a video game. Balatro is the 2024 poker roguelike video game where players discard and create poker hands through a 7-card draw where their ability to adjust their hand and the way their hand is scored is altered or even completely rewritten by unlockable power-ups. Players are given a target score to beat in each round and a maximum number of hands with which to reach that score. After playing Balatro for 3 hours, I finally understood what I was going to do for this whole contest. I imported the lore of the Doremi setting almost wholesale, then created an entire character stat system using poker cards instead of dice rolls, where both the suit and the rank of the card impacts how that character plays the game. Then, I created a trait system where players called apprentices can gain ways to improve their hands. Finally, a scoring system where different poker hands are worth different amounts of points toward a difficulty score. Every scope check uses poker hands instead of dice roll, where a higher quality hand has a better chance at beating the check's DC. And with that, I went to bed. I woke up early so I'd have time before I had to go to school, and I spent that extra game design time watching anime. I wanted to watch some of my own favorite series. Not because it's just my favorite series or anything. It is, but entirely with the purpose of then being able to make sure I was writing a system based on it with some degree of fidelity. I kept my phone under my desk at school to write traits, minor features that affect gameplay in some way which characters have a limited number of, and make good progress between various things. I stopped at one point to take a math test. After getting home, I thought to get to work writing. Then I walked to the store, and I bought decks of cards because of all the things I have for game design. I couldn't find one, and I wanted to make sure the game was actually good to play with cards. I also bought poker chips. I don't think I'll wind up using them in the game, but maybe I will. Better to have and not need than need and not have. I watched more anime while eating dinner. Then I wrote this. So, for the first 24 hours of the jam, I've played video games for 3, watched anime for 2, slept for 5, been at school for 8-ish, walked to the store for 1, did a bunch of other random things, and have yet to actually do that much writing. But I feel very confident where I'm at. I have a solid core to how the system plays, and I created a foundation for myself to quickly scale the gameplay systems over the next couple days until I have a minimum viable product by Friday, and maybe can organize a last-second playtest on Sunday, after the start of a major Daimahu campaign this Saturday. Thanks for watching.